Hey, Cleaning Nation, good to talk with you today. We are doing things a little bit different for those of you guys and gals that are used to our live deals. Usually I've got the lovely Lindsay hosting, but she is on vacation, so you're stuck with just me. And instead of doing questions, I've got a topic I wanted to go over with you because all I do every day, all day, is talk to owners of cleaning companies. And when I see stuff that I just know is holding our clients back or the people I talk with back, I figure it is probably holding you guys back as a community. So today we are going to talk about and go over the 3 lies that kill your cleaning company profitability. So as we get into this, one of the first things I want to say is I see so many of you focusing on revenue, top line growth, which is it's an ego situation, as opposed to bottom line, which is profit that you can take out of your company. So bonus, we're going to start with a bonus, I don't want to say secret, but bonus thing or lie that's killing your cleaning company, which is I should focus on top line revenue, and bottom line profit will take care of itself. There are plenty of multi-million-dollar companies out there that don't make any money. And, truth be told, I've had big companies and I've had small companies. And frankly, having run both, I would much rather have a company doing $500,000 a year, making $200,000-300,000 in profit than I would a $300,000 or $3 million company doing $200,000 or $300,000 in profit. You figure well, if the profit's the same, wouldn't you rather have the company that has more revenue because you've got more opportunity? Not really, because really with that opportunity comes risk. And when you're running a couple $100,000 through a company every month and your margins are so small, just a couple percentage, any small thing can really kink you. But when you got big fat profit margins, it not only pays better, obviously, but there's just more room to test things, to make mistakes. So I guess the underlying thing we want to start with is focus on profit, not revenue. So that's the first. I wouldn't say it's a lie. Well, I guess the lie would be profit is not as important as revenue. And I don't think we ever say that, but so many people just focus so high. It's sad. Most of the people I ask, how much revenue did you make last month? They can tell you. More people can tell me how much revenue they had last month than how much profit they actually took out of the company. So first and foremost, sounds easy, but start with focusing on what you want. And what you want is really profit. And the funny thing is when I ask people their goals, they'll say things like, well, I want to be $1 billion company, or I want to do 50 grand a month, or whatever the case may be. And I go, well, how much profit do you want to make? How much do you need out of that? I haven't thought about that, or I don't know, or that's a good question. And when my follow-up question is, well, what's more important? Is it the revenue or the profit? And they all say the profit, but they're clear on the revenue and not the profit. So obviously step 1 is to be clear that you really do want profit. Probably most of you, the vast majority, not revenue. And just for everyone that's missing or confused on terminology, revenue is all the money that comes into the company, and profit's the money that you take out after all expenses. So focus on what you want. Don't fall for the ego number of top line. Let's go with the profit that you take out, because you can't pay bills or payroll or even your own mortgage with revenue. You can only pay with profit. So that's the foundation. Now let's dive into the 3 lies that kill your cleaning company profit once you're focused on what you want, and that being profit. The first lie is, I'm putting all of my profit back into my cleaning company. I hear that a lot. And the frustrating part is people say it almost nobly, like it's, I'm doing the right thing. I'm suffering. Instead of taking the money out for me, I'm putting it all back into my company. And that is based on an underlying assumption that your cleaning company's biggest roadblock to growth is lack of cash. So if that's the truth, the one thing, the biggest thing stopping your cleaning company from growing is lack of cash. You taking the extra cash that could be profit and putting it back into the cleaning company would be a good thing. But 9 times out of 8 times they hear that, that's not their biggest problem. It is, they don't, they might go, well, I'm going to put a bunch of money into marketing, but they're not tracking their marketing. They don't know what the ROI or return on investment is, or they're doing a bunch of the cleaning themselves, or their systems don't work. And they're afraid to take on new clients. So they've got a bunch of problems way ahead of, or way more important than, or crucial than lack of cash is what's holding, lack of cash is not what's holding them back. There's other problems that are holding them back. And because of that, you can put the money back into the company, but it's not really going to help, right? And the problem is you're creating a habit. And when you create a habit of the company not being profitable or having extra money, it's hard to break that. And a lot of times people think, well, I'm little. When I get bigger, then I'll take the profit out. But the reality is that's like sitting in front of the fire and going, you give me wood and I'll give you, or you give me heat and then I'll give you wood. It doesn't work that way, right? Or people saying, I'll track my money when I get rich. I'm too poor. I don't have enough money. It doesn't make, I shouldn't track it. I'll track my money when I get rich. And the reality is you'll get rich once you track your money. So the same thing goes with the profit. I'll take the profit out when I have more revenue. Oftentimes when you take the profit, you'll get more revenue when you start taking profit out or when you start tracking your profit. So number one lie that will kill your cleaning company is I'm putting all my profit back into my cleaning company. And just full disclosure, I've been in lots of cash heavy businesses, car dealership, construction companies where there was a real reason to have outside capital, whether it was mine or a bank. You're, flooring a bunch of cars, or you've got, $1 million projects going on. So, Denise is in the chat. Good to see Denise. So the reality is, I'm not saying no businesses are cash dependent, but the cleaning business, the way we coach you to do it, which is cash up front, you get paid first and you do the work later, you bill in advance or you charge credit cards in advance, is not a cash heavy business. So the vast majority of you that are quote unquote putting your money back into your cleaning company because you think it's going to grow. Well, first, they just because it feels like it's something good to say. And oftentimes the reality is just I haven't taken the time to do the numbers, which is not great. So and when it's not that, your expenses are too high, right? If you leave the money in the company, you're like, I bought a car, I bought a piece of equipment, I bought whatever. That's not profit, right? As soon as you spend it on something for the business, it becomes an expense. So the socially acceptable verbiage for that is I'm reinvesting my money in my cleaning company, which sounds really good. But the truth of the matter is there is no profit in my cleaning company. We just don't want to say that because it scares us. So the first lie that'll kill your cleaning company profit is telling yourself, I put all my profit back in, right? The way that we coach is a 45% cost of goods sold, 25% expense, and 30% owner profit, right? So we're not saying you should put no money back in, right? 45% of, if you get a $100 job or a $1,000 job, $450 should go to payroll or overhead to do the job. $250 should go to overhead for things like uniforms and insurance and professional development and software and all that, and marketing and all the good stuff. And $300 should come out to you, right? So first lie that kills your cleaning company profit is I'm putting all my profit back in my cleaning company. What that typically means is there is no profit in my cleaning company and I don't know what to do. All right. Hopefully that was helpful. Let's jump into lie number 2. You're not supposed to make money for the first 5 years, right? I Googled this thing before we went live. And the internet says, most small businesses take between 2 to 5 years. I got 2 and 3 years, 2 and 5 years. I got a bunch. So somewhere between 2 and 5 years to become profitable. And that may be the truth. Maybe most small businesses do take 2 to 5 years to become profitable. But that just because that's the reality for most business owners doesn't mean it's ideal for you or it's a goal that we should chase, right? So people get confused between just because this is a reality, they kind of set that standard for themselves. I forget I didn't Google the percentages, but a large percentage of companies go out of business the first 5 years, right? Somehow we don't go into business with the expectation of going out of business. We're like, that's crazy. But we somehow swallow that going into business without taking profit for the first couple of years. Cause it's like, I'm not supposed to make money in the first 5 years. So just because many people don't doesn't mean you're not supposed to. And again, there are lots of different business models, and there are some business models that are less profit. They're harder to make profit in the first couple of years, right? So we got Mark from Indiana. Welcome. So all that said, I'm not saying every business, should be profitable day one, but certainly the cleaning company, you should be able to have that profit, that 30% profit from day one all the way through. All right, the last lie. So the first 2 lies are I'm putting all my profit back in my cleaning company. Lie that's going to kill your cleaning company's profit. And 2, you're not supposed to make money the first couple of years, or no business owners make money, or whatever. All of those lies are, both of those lies are going to kill you and make you miserable. Hey, Clean Nation, Mike Campion here. One of my least favorite things about these podcasts are we found that people love the show and they love the information, but when I talk to you guys in person, stuff doesn't get done. People love the podcast, but they don't take any action. If you'd like to actually implement this and get this done in your world, we have a whole team of people that do exactly that. If you go to growmycleaningcompany.com/talk, you can book a time with either myself personally or one of our teammates to at least help you come up with a plan to actually implement and change your life. So if you want to go from getting these good ideas in your head to getting them in your life, just book a free call with myself or my team, growmycleaningcompany.com/talk, and we can go from this one-to-many format to one-to-one and really get you some results. Excited to talk. The last lie, which is so insidious, is only for some people. Some version of I can't afford to clean, or I make more profit when I clean, right? So we tell ourselves the lie of I'll make more money if I'm cleaning. So the reality is, if you're cleaning, nobody's running your company, nobody's installing systems, nobody's improving the client experience. You might be doing a good job with that client right there, but nobody's putting systems in place to make sure that you can handle 100 clients and they can all have a good experience. So I think the problem is it's kind of a half truth. Like, there is some truth to, I guess technically, if you don't clean, you'll make less money because you have to pay that out in payroll. But it really depends on what you're comparing cleaning to. So if you're not cleaning because you're sitting at home watching TV, yeah, I guess you would make more money saving payroll from cleaning than you would watching TV. That said, Angie just posted, and your cleaning is crap because you're doing too much. And I absolutely can. I wasn't even going to bring that up, but absolutely, when you're exhausted and doing too much, everything's going to be crap. You being an owner, you being a cleaner. So obviously the underlying theme of if you're doing too much, you're probably not doing any of it particularly well. So yes, if you are comparing sitting on the couch or cleaning instead of paying a cleaner to clean, yeah, I guess you'll make $20 an hour more, or whatever the case would be, assuming, yeah, like Angie said, assuming that doesn't inhibit your ability to be successful doing other things, right? But as a business owner, sitting on the couch or cleaning aren't your only two options, right? You could be doing a lot more stuff. So from a bigger picture, again, if you're just thinking about how could, if you're doing marketing, if you're doing sales calls, at least if you're going to be cleaning, train someone else, be interviewing, putting together your hiring funnel. There's so many things you can do that are so much higher value than cleaning. So again, just like the first lie of, or the underlying concept of, you want to focus on what you want. If you want revenue, I guess you can focus on revenue, but most people focus on revenue and they really want profit. So the same thing goes here. If you want a cleaning job, you should focus on cleaning, right? It is totally fine. Yes, if you just want to get money to clean and do all the cleaning yourself and keep almost all the money, but if you stop cleaning or you don't show up, you don't get paid, then cleaning could be a way to maximize profit. But if you want to create a cleaning company, a cleaning business that makes you money without you having to clean, then cleaning is not going to, personally doing the cleaning yourself is not going to make you more money. It's actually going to make you less money. So the big thing is we've got to make sure we start with end in mind, right? Just like, do we want profit or we want revenue? If our focus is revenue, well, let's just sell as many jobs as cheaply as possible. Maybe we give a bunch of stuff away. There's all sorts of ways we can maximize revenue and hurt profit. The same thing comes to this point. Do you want to own a cleaning job or do you want to own a cleaning business? So if you want to own a cleaning job, clean all you want, but that's not really a business, it's a job. If I clean, I get paid. And if I stop cleaning, I stop getting paid. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just you're more self-employed than you are a business owner. And you probably won't make that if you take into account all the time it takes you to do the billing and get the clients and have insurance and buy the supplies. You're probably actually, if you money per hour, you're probably not going to make much more than if you just work for somebody else. So obviously you've got a little more freedom, but you have to do a bunch of extra work for, you make a little more money because you keep it all, but you have to do a bunch more work. So there's working for someone else, which is you show up when they say and you get paid what they say, fine. There's being self-employed, which is where you do the thing. I'm a pool cleaner and I clean pools, and when I clean pools, they give me money. That's different than working for somebody else in that you get to pick the clients that you have and the oh, beautiful. Angie says higher value for me is being able to volunteer at the church with the youth, or with the suicide response team. So yeah, I'm just talking about the money thing. Obviously, the whole point of this business is to create the life that you want. So the freedom of time is the ultimate value. But you still need to pay rent or mortgage or whatever your bills are. So the reality is, if you have to do the work to get paid, if you stop working or go on vacation and the money stops coming in, you don't own a business, you own a job, or you're self-employed. So if your goal is to have a business, then we need to create a business. And when you do the work of the business, right? If you clean pools or clean houses, or you're an accountant and you do the accounting, whatever, if you're doing that, that's not profit, that's just getting paid for wages. So even though arguably that the amount of cash that you take out short term might drop if you hire somebody. Your profit hasn't gone down. Your profit, say you're like, well, if I don't do the cleaning, I won't make any money. Well, then you never had any profit. That was never profit. That was just you getting paid for work that you did, which again is a job. So the cool thing is, I found, depending on what part of the United States or Canada that you're in, if it's a poorer part where you can't charge as much and cost of living is lower, and you're cleaning 30, 40 hours a week, which is the most you can clean because you still have to drive and get the jobs and do the rags and all that good stuff. I mean, somewhere between $4,000 and $8,000 a month is about the most that you can make, and you have to do all the work. Now, if let's just say you're at the top end, you're cleaning like crazy, and again, you can't even keep up with that because you're usually the people that are making $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month doing the cleaning themselves have no life, right? All they do is work. Even when they're at home, they're billing, and it's overwhelming for them. So the crazy thing is, the big downsides to that are, obviously, if you take a vacation, not only do you have to pay for the vacation, but your money just stops coming in because nobody's working, and God forbid, the people that you're not cleaning might quit, right? So it's a very vulnerable spot, I would say. Now, the difference is if you say make half as much, or really a third as much when you start adding in overhead, but we'll just call it half as much. Well, geez, if you have 5 cleaners all making $8,000, $10,000 a month or $8,000 a month for you, then that's all of a sudden $40,000 a month. And if you take 30% of that, you basically go from a finite amount of money that you can make, because you can only clean so many, to an infinite amount of money, depending on how well that you can systematize the business and create a culture and do other stuff. So the last lie is I make more money, I make more profit when I clean. And the reality is, if you're physically doing the cleaning, that's not profit. That's just you saving a couple bucks on payroll. The cool thing about this one is, not only is cleaning the least profitable amount, it's often the least fun, and it's safe. I'll be honest with you. When you clean, you're gonna learn everything there's about cleaning in a week or two in cleaning, and there's no challenge. So there's no risk. You go in, the place is dirty, you clean it, you feel better, and you leave. And there's a reason that pays $20 an hour. When you start working on your business and creating systems and hiring people and doing marketing, you're gonna have to risk time and resources and stepping out of your comfort zone. And stuff will stress you out. You'll get a bad review, an employee will leave you, crazy stuff happens. And dealing with that is part of the reason so few do it and why we get paid so well. So not just saying life is completely better and there's no downside to owning a business as opposed to owning a job, but the reality when the income comes, some people feel guilty sometimes when they've got not friends and family, they got employees clean, like, oh my gosh, they're making less money than I am, and they're quote unquote working so hard. But the reality is, there's a reason. It's fair, right? Like, we're not scamming them. There's a lot more people that are willing and able to just clean and just go, I show up, I do my cleaning, I go home. There's not a lot of risk there. There's not a lot of outside of your comfort zone. There's not a lot of growth. So there's a reason that pays $20 an hour. And there's a reason that you can make $200,000 a year owning a cleaning company, because you have to do the harder work. So let me just sum up the 3 lies that'll kill your company profit. Well, before we get into the lies, the first thing is optimizing for revenue as opposed to profit will kill your cleaning company profit. And the 3 lies that'll kill your cleaning company profit is, I'm putting all my profit back into the cleaning company. That's a lie. You're not. It's just called, those are just expenses. So there is no profit, right? 2, you're not supposed to make money for the first 5 years. That's not the truth. The reality might be the conglomerate of all businesses, the majority don't make money over the first 5 years, but that doesn't mean it's a goal. That just means it's a statistic to take into consideration when you're planning how you set up your business. And then finally, the lie of I make more money when I clean assumes that the most value you have to bring to the world is as a cleaner, not as an owner. And if that's the case, you should get a job cleaning for someone else, not owning, right? If you really are an owner, of course you'll make more money doing owner work than you will do cleaning work. Okay, so I feel like I got a little ranty, but this is a big deal. Guys and gals that have been doing this 5 or 10 years, if you're not making the profit that you feel that you should make or deserve to make, you're probably just not doing the tasks that you need to do. And I know that there's a lot of fears around why my customers only want me, or employees are a lot crazy. We've done a bunch of other podcasts on that. But at the end of the day, you just really have to look at what the goal is. And if the goal is, I just like cleaning stuff and being with people, then by golly, do that. That's fantastic. But if the goal is to own a business that makes money without you having to work, then it's non-negotiable. Even if your clients only want you, or even if employees have some risk, or even if you might take a small dip in cash flow for a couple weeks or a couple months. If the ultimate goal is to make profit, and profit meaning money from a business that operates without you, then these are, kind of the trades we're going to have to make. So hopefully that was helpful. If you're like, that was super helpful one-to-many, Mike, but I've got 1,000 questions. I need help that's a little more specific. Feel free to reach out to us, growmycleaningcompany.com. We're on Instagram. You can email me, mike@growmycleaningcompany.com. Someone on the team is there to help you. That's what we do all day, every day. And I know it can be frustrating hearing these podcasts and not being able to get the specific help you need. So reach out anytime. We're here to help. Hope that was valuable. We'll talk soon. Hey, Cleaning Nation, if you dug the content you just got, we don't do any ads and I don't sell anything on this podcast, but if you would just subscribe, rate, and review, it would be huge and I'd be so appreciative. Not only is it going to help me, but you'll help other owners of cleaning companies across the world work less, make more, and get profitable. So if you appreciate the value we give, again, subscribe, rate, and review. It'd mean the world to me. I'd really appreciate it. And we sure appreciate your time and attention.